in Colombia. It's a bit dramatic with the glasses on, isn't it? But it's a bit bright today. On my channel, I discuss daytime and nighttime, cold approach. Unlike most coaches, I demonstrate premium infields, day in, day out, raw infields, how it actually works, how you actually get the girl's number from the street, from the cafe, from the club. I actually demo this in person. It's called the Noble Art of Cold Approach. You can see that on many of the other videos on this channel. If you're serious about getting a girlfriend or an attractive wife and you're sick of swiping on a screen, if you're over the age of 30, women in their 20s will put 30 as their maximum age, so you're fucked on the apps. If you're under 6 foot, you're also fucked. I'm 40, I'm 5'8", I'm bald, as you can see, and you can see me in field just closing girl after girl after girl after girl, and I'm doing it on camera. Yeah, and there's nothing magic about me, my friends. Yeah, as I say, I'm bald, I'm 5'8". I just know what I'm doing, and I train guys in this, the Noble Art of Cold Approach. It's an amazing, life-changing experience. Many guys have met their girlfriends through learning daytime approach. It's something that actually can be taught. I didn't know it at one point in life. Now I know it, and it's because I learned it. I'm part of a mastermind of elite guys. We all trade notes on this, and we've got it to a very refined art. So I'm able to assist guys through this whole process of learning. I was also a club promoter for 4 years. I was big into the nightlife scene for about a decade, and I was a club promoter for 4 years. So I've got a lot of insights into the underbelly of female sexuality, the underbelly of nightlife, which I've also discussed on previous videos. Aside from that, I've also got a lot of experience internationally. I've lived in, I think, 17 different countries. I've dated girls from more than 30 different countries, and I've met women and dated women from, well, let's do the list: Brazil, Dominican Republic, Cuba, Colombia, Venezuela, about 5 or 6 countries across Africa, China, UK, France, Spain, Italy, etc., etc. Okay, Greece, the Middle East, Iraq, even. So it's not to show off. I don't. It's, you know, this was all just. This was all part of my own process in my late 20s of exploding away from civilized society and exploding away from being a good boy and being a nice guy, and just going on an absolute rampage through nightlife. Nowadays, it's not much slower, to be honest with you. It's slower than it used to be aged 28 to 32, but it's not that slow, I have to be honest. I'm still, you know, dating around a fair bit. But it's not the same tempo as it was. My main ambition these days is to actually help other guys. There's only so many girls you can realistically take. I mean, really, you can only really take one, to be honest. So my goal on this channel is to help other guys with their process. And so with that said, the reason I talk about other topics, sometimes I talk about things like honor, I might talk about things like culture, I might talk about economics. It's because there are macro patterns operating that have left men essentially in this position where they don't know what the fuck has hit them, basically. I'm a millennial, I'm 40. It affected my generation. We're probably the first ones to get hit. Maybe the Gen Xers did as well. Boomers were in a different world. They were living in the old world. Yeah. Now the situation has changed completely. And so there are macro trends that we are exposed to. We are literally swimming in these waters. We've got to keep our heads above water. We've got to find a way to land. And so I examine other things as well. So for those of you who are highly intelligent, who are highly curious, and you know, you may even find yourself asking, how come my dad, who knew less about women than me, who knew less about seduction, who was objectively less attractive, how come he was able to get my mom like easily? You know, it was no big deal. They just got married at 25. And that was all of them, right? A good friend of mine, a guy who gives me a lot of advice, is in his early 70s. He was the rebel in his whole area. He was a complete rebel. And he dropped out of university, got kicked out for having alcohol in university, believe it or not. Imagine that. And then he went and worked in Wall Street. And then he actually ended up in prison for I think 4 to 6 years in prison, in a maximum security prison. So he's had a very colourful life. He's actually a very nice guy, believe it or not. It wasn't for assault. You can probably guess what it was for. But he gives me a lot of interesting stories about his former life, and he told me that every single guy in his high school, in his graduating class, without fail, he was the only one who didn't marry the high school sweetheart or didn't marry the first girl at university. He was the rebel, right? He was just uncontrollable. But every single guy got married. It was no big deal. You knew if you got married, you were respectable, you held down a decent job, and you worked hard. You knew for a fact you were going to have 2-3 kids, you were going to have a detached home, and your life was going to be good. That sounds like a fantasy for us, right, in the modern world. Okay, we're just so far from that, and it's almost become every man for himself, right? And I saw it at an early age. I saw that corporate world. I just did not like the look of it. I didn't like the conformity, the servile nature. Millennials are incredibly servile people. Awful generation, man. Awful. I know it's my generation, but so servile. To just, oh, they've got money, they've got a company. Okay, I don't know who these people are, but so I don't tolerate stupidity on my channel, so I'll just hide you. If you want to watch, you can. The channel really is for intelligent men, so I don't mind people commenting. Welcome your comments, welcome your questions, but if you say stupid things, I will just get rid of you. Okay, so I think I've just deleted someone who's actually all right there, but anyway, so yeah, so we're going to talk about that today. So yeah, just to go back to the servility. The millennials are a very servile group of people, unfortunately. So yeah, the world has changed beyond all recognition. I saw at an early age there was something in my gut that I didn't like about the world. There was something even in my gut I didn't like about English girls. I think it was when I was young. I was 15, 16, then I started going into the club scene about 16, 17. And I saw girls my own age who I knew were idiots. Like, I knew them from high school. These girls were idiots. And I saw them getting worshipped and, you know, like everyone being nice to them. Meanwhile, we're there being treated like complete shit. We're like scrounging our way into the clubs through the fire exit and so on, right? And it was just weird. Like, I didn't understand. Now as an older man, I understand it. I understand how it all works. I remember going to the south of France, age 20, 21. I met up with a friend there. He was working down there, and I bummed on his, just like, you know, just scrounge, basically, just like sleeping on his like floor almost, like in his hotel, like because he got given a hotel room for his job. So we had an amazing time because he would be in Monaco for 2 weeks, then he would be in like Cannes for 2 weeks, and I would just sleep on the floor wherever he was. I would just basically sleep on the floor. But we would go out around that area, and we were like 20, 21. And because we're from the UK, we're from the north of the UK. First of all, there aren't that many people with money. There's certainly no young people well, there are people with money, but there's certainly no young people with big money that can spend thousands of dollars. There certainly wasn't back then anyway. And I remember we were going out to these clubs and these beautiful girls there, and it was just a whole different world. These like stunning girls, very classy, but we're like, man, these people are putting down thousands of fucking dollars, and they're our age. So that was an exposure at a young age. I was like, fuck, whatever is going on in these global kind of marketplaces is totally different to my hometown. So anyway, so this was the start of my own process. There were just things I saw at an early age on the corporate side, on the dating side, didn't seem to fit with my own instincts about what I felt was natural. And so I kind of broke off in my own way, quite a young age, to be honest with you. And here I am now in Medellin. I live a remote lifestyle. So that's why I've been around so many different places, met girls from all over the place. And my path, I just saw as the most sensible, rational path. to go and live internationally and move around the world and have a remote business. I just saw that as not some grand ambition. I saw that as the most viable path for me to have a life that I actually would find enjoyable, actually even tolerable, to be quite honest with you. Let's say Medellin, I've been here 10 weeks. I'm more than ready to leave Medellin. I'll talk about Medellin a bit later, but I'm kind of done with the place. Great, I can go. Goodbye, peace. I'll see you later, Medellin. Yeah, and I think that's a great way. It's a great way to live. So, with that in mind, the cultural stuff on this channel, it does lead towards practical solutions. One of the solutions that I suggest is that guys set up a multi-jurisdictional lifestyle if they want to explore international dating. That's something I can help guys with. But crucially, you need to be able to bridge the gap. And the hardest thing for most guys, a lot of guys, myself, I'm quite introverted, even quite extroverted guys, to be honest. The thought of going over to a woman in the daytime where she's just walking down the street, you're thinking, how the fuck? She's shown no interest in you at all. She's shown no interest in anyone. She's got her headphones in. You're thinking, how the fuck is it even possible to pull that girl? Maybe when she's in a club, yeah, I get it. She's there for a reason. Is it really possible? Well, you see it on my channel. I show it every single week. There's new infields coming out. It's absolutely possible. It's absolutely doable. I'm 40 fucking years old. Yeah, I'm meeting women half my age all over the world, by the way, not just in Colombia. Easiest place for me is UK, to be honest, because in the UK I'm just unopposed. Just the men have given up in the UK. So yeah, it's absolutely doable, and that's something that I should train guys in. So that's something you're interested in. If that's something you're interested in, then yeah, you can see the links below. There's a link to book a call with me if you already know that you'd like to come and train with me. You can see the evidence on the channel, and instead of making stupid comments, I mean, these people, you've literally got a man of the world in front of you, right? A man who's lived in 17 countries, who speaks 4 languages, who has a remote business, who you can see understands the game with women, is actually proving it on camera. If you can imagine how much effort that is to do, and all you're doing is just making stupid comments. I can't imagine how thick some people are. This is why I need to improve the reach on this channel, because really the point of this channel is just to reach that 1 or 2 intelligent guys who get it. I don't care about the rest of the people, because I know you're doomed anyway. And I'm kind of going to come on to this again at the end. So stay tuned, because there are a lot of big themes actually on this live. And the cultural thing I wanted to talk about today after all of that is the domestication of man. And this is something I've just been observing over the last 3 to 4 weeks. You know, dogs as man's best friend. Having a dog used to be seen as like this quite an independent thing for a man, right? Like, you've got your dog, you've got your big wolf dog, you go off into the forest, you're walking, you're walking around. No, dude, it's not. This is a serious channel, mate. I'm not here to joke. Yeah, I'm not here to joke. Yeah, so there's actual intelligent humor, and then there is retarded humor. Okay, so I'm not interested in retards. Okay, as I said, I want to meet highly intelligent men who want to learn the skill. And you can like me or not like me. Yeah, but no one can look at my channel and say, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. You can see me in all these different countries. You can see me successfully doing raw infield cold approaches, the caliber of which there is virtually nobody out there on the internet doing. Yeah, I've seen the big coaches, I've seen their infields. They're not particularly good. They've got big brands, but their infields aren't good. I can see many mistakes in them. Okay, so yeah, this is for guys who just want to learn, sort your problem out and move on. So let's talk about the dog situation, just to get back to that. I'm in Laureles in central Medellin, and it's incredible to me what I'm seeing here. As I said just then, dogs used to be like guys going out for runs with their dogs. You know, it was actually, I don't really like dogs that much, but it was always like a fairly manly thing, I think. You know, you've got your big husky dogs or whatever they are, and you've got to look after them. You take them to the vet. I get it. It's that companionship. I obviously understand that. But what I've seen here in Laureles is something I've maybe seen this in Monaco, Monte Carlo, Monaco, but here it's much worse actually, is dogs as a tool of male domestication. If you can believe that. Dogs as a tool of male domestication. So Colombia is really, as far as I'm concerned, is a complete matriarchy. The women exert like hilarious levels of authority here, and this whole Latino alpha thing, it exists in some countries, it a little bit exists in Brazil, it definitely exists in Dominican Republic and Cuba, you know, good for those places, but it doesn't exist here at all. In Colombia, it's pretty embarrassing, to be honest. And what I see day in, day out, in this area, there are no fucking children. There are none. Medellin in general, there's actually very few children being born. The birth rate is 0.9 here, which is on South Korea level birth rate. Yeah, it's awful. What that means is, you think, oh, who cares about children being born? What that means is in 4 generations, for every 100 people born now, there's 6 left. Yeah, it means your country's done, and it's gonna be done fast, because you probably won't even make the 4th generation. It means for 100 people alive now, 25, they'll have 25 grandchildren. Yeah, that's fucking atrocious. Yeah, that is atrocious. It's population collapse level. Medellin is in the worst throes imaginable, right? And they don't even know it. They don't even know it. And I'm in the wealthy area here, the area where you'd think, well, people have got money here. It's a really high standard of living. It's higher standard of living than most European cities at this point. And there are no fucking children anywhere. All the couples in their 20s, 30s and 40s, but particularly 30s and 40s, they're walking around with dogs, mate. Dogs. And not any dogs, not the cool type of dog, you know, the wolf dogs. They're walking around with rat dogs. Dogs that are really just an abomination. They shouldn't have even been bred. They're a product of dysgenic breeding, okay? It's where you breed negative characteristics into an animal. It's actually very fucking cruel, yeah? No, it's just because of the brown brick, mate. It is a high income area. It's the highest income area in Antioquia. Yeah, you can't really see that much. The background over there, behind me over there is, that's kind of favelas on the hill. This is just brown brick. Yeah, it doesn't look so great there, to be honest. If you tune in at night, it looks a lot nicer. But this is actually a very high income area. It's the highest income, as I say, in Antioquia, this entire region. It's a much higher standard of living, quite honestly, than most of Europe. And that's I've traveled all over Europe, lived all over Europe. It's a very high standard of living here. And it's really incredible to me to see complete domestication of the men here, basically. It's just unbelievable. And it's interesting seeing these men are like the good thing, should we say, about the West. You know, they're saying that men and women have turned against each other in the West, the red pill, the manosphere, blah, 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 feminism, all of that. Actually, out of that conflict could potentially come something new could be born out of that. Here it's much worse. No one has a fucking clue what's going on. No one really understands it. But they've essentially just been crushed, yeah, by liberalism, and they don't even know it. So yeah, walking around Laureles, these are the most spiritless people I've ever seen anywhere. It's like, I've lived in eastern Sarajevo, where you can still see fucking shell holes and bullet holes everywhere. A lot of the people lost, a lot of family members, massive trauma in that city, right? And some of those areas are a little bit zombified, especially in winter. This is way worse. This is way worse, way worse. They're just passive, battered into submission. And it's interesting that rather than having families, and it's fucking obvious, rather than having families, they are having dogs. You think, oh, Joseph, you're going too far now. No, I am not. Rather than having families, they're all just having dogs, these little fucking rat dogs. This level of men are sub-beta level. They're comatose, zombie level men. It's honestly insane to see. And it's not 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, it's everyone. I just go to a cafe just before this, I'm just doing some work. You know, they're all, the girls working there, they've got their dogs. The girl's boyfriend comes in, he's like 40 something. You know, they're canoodling and they've got their dog as well. And they treat these dogs like children. It is fucking bizarre. The level of stupidity, and this is the rich area, and zero self-awareness, absolutely zero. Like, this is Medellin, Colombia, South America. The level of self-awareness that, you know, you're obviously treating these dogs as human children because you don't have fucking children. Yeah, it is not normal for grown adults in their 30s and 40s to treat dogs as fucking children. Yeah, I understand if you're a solo person, especially if you're getting older, or you know you've got a stretch of your life where you're going to be alone for one reason or another. I actually understand it, right? But like, get an actual dog, not a rat dog. But that is not what's going on here. The phenomena is the adoption of multiple dogs as a surrogate family. To me, that's it's catastrophic and it's tragic, because like, I would rather a guy adopt, like marry a single mom, like provided she was decent, right? And he had options and he chose her because she was the best. I'd rather see a guy go down that route and raise someone else's son to adulthood than this, because at least that's a human. At least you're helping a human, right? You're spending your time and energy and essential energy having a little gay family of 3 fucking dogs, yeah, that chosen by your wife. And the way these guys get marched around, honestly, subcomatose beta is unfathomable to me. It's unfathomable. No, men in North America and Europe have got way more spirit than Colombian guys, way more. It's not even comparable. It's not even comparable. It's abject out here. It's abject, and this is the middle class area. So it's never. The cockery really comes. Yeah, the cockery really comes. The cockery really comes. All right, I'm just going to stop these comments, mate. It's not really. The cockery really comes. What was I going to say there? I might just block all comments on these videos because everyone seems to be. What was I going to say there? Yeah, the cockery comes in the middle class more. It's always the middle class that is focused on aggressively, because they're the intelligent ones. They're the ones that are more central in the economy. The peasant class, the proles, as George Orwell said, the guys living in the favelas out there, the proles, etc., are never really that relevant. They're not that relevant. It's the people in the institutions, it's people with businesses, it's people with the professions. They're always more relevant to civilization. And actually it's really a very small group that are elite. The proles really, yeah, it's not to be discriminatory, because you could say that I'm a prole, but they're not actually relevant to the future of civilization. It's why the brainwashing goes on. Where does it go on? The universities, the institutions, the banks, the big businesses. That's where it goes on. No one gives a fuck about the builders on a building site. No one cares. They don't have the position. They don't have the authority. They're easily dealt with. They're disorganized. Yeah, they don't. They maybe have some senses, but they don't really get what's going on in a lot of cases. So that's the theory anyway. That's Orwell's theory. And I think that's certainly true why they focus on the middle classes more. So these guys are totally fucking brainwashed and brain dead. And there's a guy who just on there said he, didn't want to look after someone else's kid. I understand that, but my point is, well, first of all, I didn't ask you what your position was, to be honest, but my point is putting energy into a dog, yeah, raising a dog, yeah, a dog, as a child. The dog will not know who you are, has no capacity for language, has no capacity to take on your lineage or human lineage. So that's my point about that. I would prefer to see guys raising someone else's kid, which I don't advocate doing that either, but putting your essential energy into fucking dogs, yeah? And not one guy, not two, it's literally all the men in this area. And I am not exaggerating. It needs to be seen to be believed. It honestly needs to be seen to be believed. It's utterly bizarre. So you have maternal and paternal instincts. Apply those to humans, yeah? You're better off going down to help, like in a youth organization or doing some coaching. I understand, right? I understand because I don't have any children. But there's been times where I spend time with my nephews, sometimes some youth programs and so on. Yeah, it's a nice feeling. At least that's going towards a human, right? To be spending that time on a non-human entity is fucking bizarre. And most of these guys, they don't even choose the dogs. No man is choosing a little rat dog. That's obviously chosen by his girlfriend, right? And they're getting shunted around, and it's like the girl is marching the guy. And it's basically, it's like a female dominance move. And unfortunately, outside of this is actually why the more time goes on, and I look very, very closely at culture, the more time goes on, the more I look at everything and say, there is no chance for liberalism. Liberalism just turns men into complete idiots because they're not actually aware of, should we say, the dark side of women. They're not aware of the pushy, bitchy side, the nasty side, the devious side, the manipulative side. Yeah, they're easily squashed. All those things are easily squashed for the most part. If the girl's fairly normal, she's American, it might be a different thing because they've been facilitated and indoctrinated and very permissive, very, very live and let live. Like it just doesn't really work. It doesn't really work. Lack of negative feedback, that's what I would say with American girls. I think they are doomed, to be honest. If you're an American guy, just give up the ghost. Watch my infields of other countries, see if you like any of the girls. Contact me, where's the place to go? Yeah. If you like black or mixed race girls, go to Dominican Republic. Easily the best place on this continent that I've been to. Way better than Brazil, way better than Colombia, way better than Cuba. In Europe, I'll probably recommend Belgrade, Serbia. Lots of gorgeous girls. And second runner-up place I would say would be Sarajevo, Bosnia as well. I think the girls are actually hotter in Sarajevo. Like genuine beauty in Sarajevo, like utter Slavic beauty. But going there solo, I think you need to go with a wing realistically. It's going to be hard for most guys. American guys with means, who've got success and money and got good values and want to have a good future, they're all basically marrying foreign chicks. Look at the fucking president, for God's sakes. The only woman he's still with, where's she from? Slovenia, yeah, the Balkans. It's not to say they're perfect women. We don't need perfection. Yeah, we just don't need like a human lunatic, right? So those would be the places I would recommend. But yeah, I just wanted to start on that because to me it's a symbol of domestication. And it's something well, first of all, a domesticated man is an unattractive man, first of all, to begin with. Domesticated man is unattractive. Man is attractive in proportion to his leadership, basically in proportion to how dangerous he is, to be honest. That's essentially how emotionally, even physically dangerous he is. That's actually what makes a man attractive. Yeah, it's the man in man is dangerous. Yeah, and so the domesticated man is not dangerous in any way, shape or form, not emotionally, not physically, not mentally. He's a completely castrated eunuch. And he's not attractive. Women don't respect him. You see these guys being shunted around by their girlfriends. They don't know what to do. They don't have a spine, they don't have a backbone. And this is Colombia, dude. They are fucked, I'm telling you. Fucked. Around this area, Medellin, I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen that level of beta anywhere. The guys in the barrios out there is different. They're actually different. They've still got that, that Latino kind of chispa and like spark and everything. Definitely, they will claim their girlfriends and they are dangerous as well. The issue is obviously they're in the barrios, they're only $200 a month, if that. So it's that's the issue over that side of things. So yeah, domestication, a tool of domestication. I never thought I would do a video about dogs, but it's something, to watch out for. And I'd say if you're in your 20s, 30s or 40s as a man, the spirit of adventure, that's the time to have the spirit of adventure. And also that also makes you attractive as well. If that isn't you, let's say that, so if that's you, you can follow my channel, you know what's going down. You got the spirit of adventure, you are going to be exciting to a lot of women, you're dangerous, etc. You're spiritually dangerous. But let's just humor the situation and say, well, what if that isn't you? What if that really isn't you? What if you are a guy who does want to have a more local life, right? What do you do then? The key then is authority. The key then is authority, yeah, and not taking any nonsense, yeah, and being unblackmailable. There's a certain YouTuber who I used to follow, I still follow actually. He talks about this concept of unblackmailable. So it's hard to do when you're domestic, to be honest, when you're in a certain place. But yeah, authority is important. So you got to keep your girl in line. Yeah, you got to keep them in line with negative feedback. You got to keep them in line. Basically, the best negative feedback is just disappear for 6 hours. The girl has to, like, female unreason is innate. They can't help it, but they have to have been somewhat trained and cultured so that you can even deal with them. And again, I'd say on the American side, just forget it. They're a lost cause. Just forget it. Yeah. And remember, for your own daughters and future generations, whatever has happened in your country, do not spread that cancer into the future generations. So you need a starting point. But even like a girl who's well raised, she's from a proper country with like a serious culture. US is not really a country, to be honest. It's really an empire. It's really a confederation. It's like a country. You travel around, you'll know what I mean by that. You'll know what I mean by that. A country has got a very clear identity amongst the people, very, very clear. But if they're raised in a normal place with normal types of values, they're still going to be a bit crazy. You're still going to have to use your authority. There's different ways to do it. One of the ways is just remove yourself from the situation. Go cold on them. Brilliant way to do it. And then also just set your life up in such a way that she's fucked if you leave, basically. That's what I would also do as well. Leverage as well, yeah, and she knows it as well. Women respond to these dark animalistic arts very well. They don't really respond so well to platonic ideals. You know, they like to think they do, but in reality, what they respond to, we all know what they respond to. So yeah, if you're more of a local domestic guy, that's what I would do. That's what I would do. Keep your friend group strong, keep your support network strong, keep your hobbies strong. Go out there with your dog, with your whatever it's called, a shepherd, whatever it is, something shepherd, German shepherd, whatever it is. And yeah, if the girl wants to buy into it, great. If she doesn't, peace, goodbye. Even in Europe, one of the best things about Europe these days is you've got girls from all over the world. So let's say the girls in whatever country, they're a little bit too feminist, you're not into it. You just find girls from a different country. So yeah, I recommend for the elite men, I recommend a multi-jurisdictional life. That means maybe you make your money in the US, you make your money in the UK, Germany, whatever, but you start to explore, and then you find a place you like, you get yourself a girlfriend there. You can start a multi-jurisdictional life. That's basically the life that I lead. Multi-jurisdictional. You get money from country A, you live in country B. Yeah, and then you maybe travel to country C and D as well. That's a really, really good way of life in modernity. Yeah, back in the day, that would have been a complete like outlaw way of life. Now it's just the best way of life. Place I've got recommended. I've already touched upon them, but yeah, the DR is by far the best place I've been to in South America, by far, by miles. It's just not even. It is not even close, to be honest. Guys who come to Colombia and stay here, I just think surely they're just men who've not travelled. They're men who've not travelled. They're not really very discerning. Good for them if they're happy, but it's like, dude, why would you stay here? Why the fuck would you stay in Medellin? I had a blast here for like a month, but then I started to realize, like, if you want to live somewhere, you have to actually like the society, like the people. Yeah, if you're Western, you're not gonna fucking like the people from here. It's impossible. There's nothing to like, truthfully. The Balkans, for example, like I really like people from the Balkans. Obviously, you've got dickheads everywhere, but for the most part, I really like them. I like their culture. Same with Dominican Republic as well. To an extent, Brazil as well. But Colombia, fucking no chance, man. No chance. So what have I got here? What else do I have here? What does that even say? 1+2 baby with money. I don't know what notes I've made there. I don't know what note that was all about. Anyway, a few other things as well. Just before we wrap up, it's not going to be too long today. Anger as motivation for your approach. There's too much of this, just nice guyism is so deep in the West. There's a lot of, fatherless men. And then the Alexander, how are you, mate? How are you? Good to see you. I'm going to be in Belgrade next week, by the way. I'm landing on Sunday. So I'll be in Belgrade for a week. And then I think I'm going to go to Niš after that. I don't know if that's how you say it, but I'm going to go to Niš, I think, for a week. And then we'll see after that. I don't know. Maybe explore around the country a little bit more. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Definitely looking forward to it. But yeah, the thing I was going to say there was there's a lot of fatherlessness. There's a lot of softness, which is in its own place is okay. But there's this whole idea you have to be positive and open and so on. That's true. But there are times where you need to find motivation, and never be afraid to find your motivation in sheer darkness and anger and hatred and frustration. So for me, I went out and did a session a couple of days ago. I think it would have been Saturday, and I'd just been relaxing all day, hadn't really been sociable at all. Or maybe I'd just been studying something. I don't know what I've been doing, but I hadn't been sociable at all. And then I get out onto the strip and I think, right, let me do 5 approaches here, 3 to 5 approaches. And the noise is so loud on this main strip. It's crazy reggaeton music coming through. There's girls in the queues for clubs. And I walk down the street and I miss a couple of approaches. And I'm going, dude, what is wrong with you? How have you just missed that approach? And what it was is I felt very low energy, and as if the energy of the place was above me, and you can't come in slow and casual and relaxed when the energy of the place around you is so high. You can do that in the daytime when you're strolling around, but that's what it was. I needed to increase my energy. I kind of oh shit, yeah, my energy is too low. I need to just get this energy boosted up. So as I was walking down, I started to just, I don't know, sometimes a good way to get energy is just to pick a fucking fight. Just pick a fight. And with me, or just think of something bad, think of something nasty that motivates you. Think of something you hate. Yeah? Something I do in clubs sometimes is I would just start to hate on the guys around me. I just start to be demean them, just thinking, who's these fucking losers, these fucking scum. I'm taking these girls. And because of the competitive drive, that actually would then get me to go into the sets. I wouldn't even talk to the guys, but it would just get me to go into the sets. So I started to do this on Saturday. I started to walk down the street, walk down the strip, and started to look, who are these fucking Colombian scumbags, these rats? Which is actually true, there are a lot of rats here. And so that started to get me going a little bit. Then a guy comes along with his motorbike, starts revving his bike. I shouted something at him. Then the guy shouted something at me. And then I'm like, yes, now the fire's going. Now we're lit up. And then I started to go in for the approaches. And the first approach, she was nice, thick. She's a nice girl with a friend. They were stopping, they were trying on hats on the strip, and just went in, maybe 7 or 8 minute set, closed her. So great, 1 for 1, awesome. Let's go up, did a few more, 3 or 4 more. There was a good one with a slightly older woman. That was a 3 set. I saw her at the crossing. I was like, nah, she can't. I'm not letting her go. So I went back, and then I got close to her. I was like, Jesus, she's a lot older than I thought. She's probably about 50, but she looked from a distance. She looked about 30. She looked good, but still had a conversation with her. Didn't obviously go for the close. And then one final close, which is hilarious, was a girl with pink hair. Yeah, but it wasn't a feminist type. It was more of a punk type. If you can, in Latin America, you've got a certain it's like a 90s punk style from the West that it's only just landed here or it's still here. And a lot of people have it, boys and girls. and she was pretty fit. I saw her in the chemist, and then she came out the chemist just as I went in to just get a bottle of water or something, walked for a few minutes, did another approach, and then I'd already noticed her, and when I came back she was just coming out. So I think we'd already made eye contact in the chemist and then just went in for the approach. That was really good. And then walked with her, got the clothes there. So two attractive girls I closed on Saturday, who, if I'd just gone down a route of I'm all peace and love, I'm all here to be just spreading the love here quietly, if I'd gone down that route with that energy in the streets, I would have got nowhere. I don't think I'd have even been able to do an approach, but because I got myself fired up on pure hatred, fuck these guys, fuck these fucking Colombian thieving fucking snakes, fuck these guys. That got me going, right? Fire and anger is great emotion. Anyone who says you shouldn't be angry or you should never get fired up, what the fuck, like, what the fuck is that about? It doesn't make any sense. It's an emotion, right? If you're spending your entire day in a fury, then you've probably got a problem. But if you need to get fired up for something, anger is there for a reason, right? It's a good emotion sometimes. So I used that, and then it got me into a session. For me, it's not so exciting to do sessions these days, really. It's just something to do. Usually I'm practicing something, or I'd like to practice something. It's not always easy because new things come up in the sessions. But I wanted to go and do a session. I'm solo here in Medellin. It's not that much fun, but I wanted to do something anyway. And so for me there, just using that fire and anger actually got me into the session. So yeah, use whatever emotions get you in, whatever it is. And actually, honestly, I think fire is a great fucking emotion. I think a lot of guys need to let a lot more anger into their life, yeah? Be angry about stuff. Some people, it's not in your temperament, and if it's not, find a different emotion. Yeah, but a lot of guys suppress their anger, yeah? It's bullshit. Use it, yeah? Get fired up, get fucking angry, and get into your sets. Use it for something positive. I don't think I'm coming to Montenegro, no. I don't think so. Because I don't really, I won't be driving. I've been told Montenegro really, if you're not driving, is not a great place. Like the capital, this is what I've been told. The capital is not particularly exciting, but the countryside is very beautiful. So you want to hire a car or whatever and drive around. So that's the advice I've been getting. So it's probably not on the top of my list for the time being. Belgrade is going to be up there, and then a few other places I think around Serbia, maybe one or two other places around that region though. We'll see. I've not finalized it yet, but I'm actually looking forward to coming back to the Balkans. Yeah, I stayed longer than I'd planned in Medellin because the first month was so intense and so crazy. I was at a lot of work the first month as well. Everything was just 100 miles an hour for the first month. I wanted to get more of a feel for the city when I had more time. And as time has gone on, particularly the last 3 weeks, I've got the measure of this city for sure. And it's very surprising in a way. It's very surprising in a way. As I say, this nice area around here is utterly comatose. It's good that it's a nice area, but there's no life. There's no life. Like Dominican, Santo Domingo, you can be in a beautiful area, but there's life. Yeah, there's spark. There's banter. The people have got personality. Here, honestly, dude, these guys are fucking zombies. I've never seen anything like it. And yeah, out in the barrios, yeah, there's more personality, there's more life, but it's fucking dangerous. Even the way they rob people, man, is so snake-like, man. It's so snake-like. If you're gonna rob me, just put a fucking gun to my head. Don't fucking get a girl off Tinder to take me to come to a bar with me and then drug me in the bar, and then when you come home, then they come and rob me in the house, which is what happens to guys out here, like literally every week. I mean, there's people get killed here most weeks because of that exact scenario. So Tinder now out here in Medellin, it's just a no-go. I've actually, I've got it on just running, and I just did maybe 3 or 4 days just seeing what's going on, swiping. Yeah, you get matches, but it's like 50% of prostitutes. The other 50%, you've got no idea what their intentions are to you. It's very, very fucking dangerous. Cold approach, like daytime cold approach is much better. Even in daytime approach, you can run into bad stuff, actually, believe it or not. But you're all much safer because you're obviously going over. The odds are in your favor. They're normal girls, actually, so their odds are much more in your favor. Yeah, I thought capital come to the coastal part. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Some of the most beautiful blondes that I saw in Belgrade were from Montenegro. So yeah, maybe I should do. Maybe I should do. Yeah, I'll see what happens this autumn and winter. I've not totally finalized my plans yet, to be honest, but I'll be going to the Balkans for at least a month, possibly a couple months. Then I'm going to drop into the UK for around autumn time, and then after that, I think probably back to the DR for around about 6 months. So that's probably my plan. Because yeah, one of my friends, he wants to go. He's very keen to go out, and if, to be honest, if it wasn't for that, I'd probably spend a bit more time in Europe. But he's keen to go out. I think we could do more filming together. We could actually work together. Yeah, the blondes. Maybe we should just fucking. I do like Balkan girls. I just can't get past Dominican girls though. They're just they suit me down to the fucking ground. I like Balkan girls because they're a lot more based than Western European girls, but they're not as expressive as like a Dominican girl or even a Brazilian girl. And so that's the side where I like them. I could definitely imagine if I'd started off my journey, because I'm 40 now, if I'd started off for like my early 20s and I'd got into the Balkan culture early doors, I could definitely have seen myself just doing a whole life out there, to be honest. I definitely could have seen that, especially Serbia. But so many countries there, I'm so fucking glad, because if it wasn't for the EU 90-day rule and Brexit, I'd have never bothered with the Balkans, to tell you the truth. I went to Romania just because I got kicked out of Europe. There was no more fucking days left in Europe. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go somewhere. I'll go to Romania. And I was like, whoa, this place is freaking amazing. A lot of the propaganda in our countries is that, especially the Balkans, it's just a shithole. That is honestly the propaganda. It's ridiculous. The propaganda's ridiculous. It's like, oh, the whole of the Balkans is just a dump, you know. Belgrade, oh my God, what a shithole. And then you go there and you're like, what the fuck? This is so nice. Yeah, it's just pure propaganda. I don't even know if it's like maybe Cold War or something. I know the Balkans did its own thing with the Yugoslavia, but some weird propaganda against that part of the world. So I'm so glad literally that I got no more days left in Europe and I ended up going out there, because it's like such a good side quest for me. It feels slightly more controlled, I would say, than the thing I like about Dominican is a pirate island. It's not really controlled. You know, it's pretty much you can do whatever you want. It's not really controlled. So that's what I like about it. It's the freest place that I've been to. That may not last forever though. That may not last forever. But right now it's the freest place I've been to. You never know, I could end up in the Congo. This is the fate of many a white Western man plying his trade in the tropics. Yeah, there's a whole history of like the white man in the tropics, like French guys, English guys. You know, we all just fucking end up going somewhere tropical. East Asia, Africa, the tropics out here in the Caribbean, Latin America. There's just some like in crazy, because it doesn't really make sense. When you think like, if you're from Western Europe as a man, why would you go to like the Congo? Why would you go to East Asia? I'm talking about in the past. Maybe now there's more obvious reasons, but in the past. But just like, we just can't resist the fucking adventure, the pull to the wild, you know, the new lands, the palm trees, the new pussy, the new beige women, the tropical girls, the excitement, the danger. Yeah, the Western man exercising his rights. Yeah, it's funny. And actually, yeah, I mean, it's now it's not even just white men. There's black guys doing it as well from the US. They're doing the same thing. It's a funny twist of events. So was there anything else I wanted to put here? Yeah, so just if you're with me this far, who this channel is really for, it's really for men. And let me tell you who it's not for. The channel is not for men who want to make excuses. It's not for men who want to say, oh, but everyone's a feminist and you have to be looks maxed and blah, blah, blah. It's not for men who want to say, I don't have enough money. If you've got a job, you've got a stable income, you've got enough money to get a girlfriend. It's not for men who are defeatist. It's not for men who've got just a negative attitude towards things. Or just very immature men, or just really honestly stupid people. It's just really not. I'm sorry, it's just not for people like that. It's for guys who are mature, of any age, don't care how old you are, could be 18, could be 50. For guys who are mature, for guys who understand that women have a biological sex drive, you can probably access it. It might take some work. The dating apps are obviously heinous. You want to learn some social skills, you want to learn some nighttime approach, but daytime is a great thing to add into the mixture, because if you get good at it, it really opens your options. And it's like a toolkit you can take with you anywhere in the world. I think if you're a digital nomad, I would say it's a must-have. If you're a digital nomad, you're a traveler, you do need to learn to be proficient in daytime approach. So it's more for that type of guy. It's for a guy who understands, you may have to make adjustments. No one comes into daytime approach and is good at the beginning. It's just it's basically impossible to be good at the beginning, because there's stuff you just don't know, like how do you stop a girl? Well, you don't know. Yeah, I can show people the ropes to begin with, but they need to practice it and then they need to refine it. Even stopping a girl, it takes quite a lot of time to even learn to do that. And then, progressing up, do I need to be more male, female? Do I need to be a little bit more relaxed? Am I too intense? Am I not intense enough? And it's really a very fine art. It's a fine art in the daytime, and you don't have very much leeway. At a social gathering, things are way more chill because the girl already trusts you, right? Because you're at the same gathering. That's why social is good. But in daytime, you do actually have to present yourself in a very skilled way. And it's a great thing to learn, because once you've got it, as you can see on my channel, you can just be closing women like you've just arrived in a new city. Just go bang, bang, bang. You're getting numbers, you're getting options, you're getting dates. And at a certain point, you just find a girl who you vibe with, and then that's it. Then you don't have to worry about it anymore. But along the way, you've developed this very interesting skill. And also the girlfriend you're with, she knows you could replace her as well. She knows you could get someone else, which is good for her. They like to have this feeling that this bastard, if this bastard left me, or if I behave too badly, he can just get someone else. What an absolute bastard. Women love being with bastards like that. So yeah, it's a great way to start a relationship. And the guys who've got girlfriends through this process, this is definitely a big part of it. It's a great origin story for their relationship. So the whole Playboy lifestyle, if you're in your early 20s, you want to run that for 3, 4, 5 years, you have absolutely my blessings on that one. I think it's good to get some experience. But I think that lifestyle is getting tougher. I do think that's getting tougher. I can definitely see that. It's just the dating market, people aren't making it up that it's difficult, because I know I'm attractive, I know I've got a lot of good things going on, and I had to learn really proficient nighttime approach plus daytime approach to have a satisfactory dating life. Yeah, my dad, when he was younger, he played squash. He's 5'4". He played squash, right? And he played football. Yeah. So he was like, and he went swimming. So he was like a Chad of his day, right? Just because of that. Nowadays, people are going to the gym. They're doing fucking steroids. They're like looks maxing. They're sawing their own heads off, sewing them back on. They're learning daytime approach, etc. It's a whole different world, learning salsa. The requirements have gone up, and it's not necessarily, the women have not necessarily got much better. So yeah, the type of guy I'm looking for understands that the channel is for that type of guy. Just jokers who come on and want to just say something stupid, that's fine, but I will just cut you off, to be honest, because I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to waste other people's time. I have another business apart from this service that I run, which is kind of my, should we say, bread and butter day to day. This service is really something I only I only run for the right guys. So when people get on calls with me, to be honest, the majority are not qualified. It's unfortunate. It's one of the things I have to improve on the channel is the reach, because the calls that especially recently, the calls I've been getting, the guys are just not qualified to do it. They're so far from, being able to actually have a hope in hell's chance of succeeding in this. It would be immoral for me to take their money. I've even had one guy actually offered me quite a bit, but I just thought I can't take this guy's money because he's got no chance. He has got zero chance of succeeding. Absolutely zero. In the way he was messaging me and stuff, it's like the guy I wouldn't want to even be in the street with him, to be honest. It sounded like he needed to be fucking probably sectioned, to be honest with you. So there are some crazy people with money out there, though. I will say that. And yeah, it's really, you don't need a huge amount of money to come and train, but you need to have some cash, and it's mostly about the motivation as well. It's mostly about the maturity and the motivation. And yeah, you can look through my infields of the last 3-4 weeks. You get a picture of, is it real? Is it not real? There's a guy on a comment today said, I'm 38, isn't this a very bad way to meet women? You're going to get rejected a lot. It's like, dude, I'm 40. 38 is your absolute peak, is your prime. Yeah, so you can definitely get an attractive girl in the mid to late 20s, 30, easily. I'm 40, and I really just go for girls in their 20s. With varying amounts of success, but I'd rather approach 20, 21-year-olds and get 1 or 2 of them, or 3 or 4 of them, depending on where I am. In some places, it's going to be like 10 of them. But depending on where I am, I'd rather approach girls, that may be too young to date seriously, but I'd rather approach girls in their mid-20s and find someone good than approach like 38-year-old women who I'm just not even, what would I even want with them? Realistically, they're too old to have a family, so there's nothing I'd really even want with them. If you don't want a family, you like cougars, go ahead, man. You have my blessings on that. So that's who the channel is not for. It's not for weak, complaining men. It's really not. I don't have any sympathy at all, to be honest. I understand life is tough as a guy these days. That's why I put the channel together, to inspire, to help, to show what can be done. That's why I'm training guys, to show even guys like the autistic guy, the Asperger's guy, who is a virgin at 37 years old. Even he can come in and do it. Train, worked his ass off, got his result, lost his virginity, and now he can move on. He's finally slayed that dragon. I can't imagine how much that must have hung over his head. And so guys like that who've got a good attitude, willing to put the work in, that's who it's for. It's just not for complainers. We are, kind of an extinction level event. The future will belong to the people who have the children. And so I'm in this phase now where, like, having the children, finding the girl is going to be no problem. I can do that all day. I could probably get a girl pregnant every month, like, if I really put my mind to it. That's not going to be an issue. The issue is the financials, is supporting it, because the world's getting expensive. So that's another bottleneck. I would love to be able to. I don't have the answer to that necessarily. I'm not a wealth coach. I've done what I've done in my business. I'm doing fine, but support like a family of 5 or 6. You look at it and go, wow, I would have to really take a hit on my lifestyle to do that. So that's going to be another bottleneck. So the financial aspect as well is going to be significant. But yeah, there's going to be a bottleneck. There is a looming population collapse. I wonder what happened. Like after that, I suppose, like next generation or 2, what you may find is, this could be interesting, is let's say that we all are able to solve these problems. We have our children. We manage to find a way to fund it. They may well be in a position where the world is just there for the taking for them, because it's like there's all this technology, education, infrastructure. There's no one fucking here to run it, and there's like 50%, 60% reduction in population, which could happen. Well, it's on the way in many countries, in most countries, in fact. So, yeah, we could actually find that our future lineages, we may be in the bottleneck right now. If we can just get through this, then our offspring and their offspring, they may just fucking take over completely. Oh yeah, interesting. And the last thing I've got here is this comment on how legitimate different channels are online. And one thing I've realized with this channel, so my other online business is not a content business. So although I work remotely and stuff, it's not really a content business. The clients don't come really through content. And what I've realized, this particular service, it's all through content. And what I've realized is being highly skilled in cold approach, dance, and internationally, having lived an international lifestyle and having lots of valuable experiences to help guys on their own journeys, that's actually not enough. It's actually not enough. You need to be a wizard in content production. Yeah. And especially now with AI, like some of my infields last year, which were not even good, they were getting a couple of thousand views, no problem, like 2.5K. That's enough views, so there's going to be probably 20 or 30 what I would describe as decent guys who are going to see it. Your 99%, they're not going to really, they just watch it for entertainment. They're never going to even do a cold approach themselves. But there is a certain number, 1%, 2%, 3%, the elite, that's really what I'm there for, the mental, psychological, spiritual elite. They are going to go, fuck, I get it, man. Yeah, I could see myself doing this. Might be tough, but I actually think I could do it. Yeah. Okay, well, this guy's proven, he's showing me the skills right here in the streets, on the camera. It can't be easy. Let's get in touch. As in, it's easy for me to do now in person. It's not easy to do on camera. Still, like, that's it's getting easier, but that's still obviously a challenge. I think Colombia's kind of broken the cycle. It's easier now than it was, but certainly like Barcelona, Manchester was not too easy to do on camera. But guys will see that. There's a certain group will see that and go, yeah, this is what I want. I want to get in touch with this guy, and we can actually, like, we could collaborate. And I trust this guy to take me along the path. And you don't have to get as proficient as me. You could get probably about 25% as proficient as me, and do super well for yourself. The proficiency for me is so that I can coach people. So I just do so many approaches. Like, people tell me, like, oh, I did an approach 3 months ago, and I'm like, dude, I'm coaching and I'm doing approaches every single week. Yeah, so but I feel I have to before proficiency, so that when people come in to work with me, I've got the answers. But I'm realizing with the whole content space, and now even more so with AI, it's really not how good you are. It's really not. It's not what you know. It's not even who you know. It's just, are you good at creating videos which drive retention in an audience? And I'm realizing that cold approach videos don't necessarily drive much retention, unless you put something like MILF in it or something like that, or like there's a girl with a big curvy ass on it. They can drive a bit more retention, or they can drive some more interest. And so that's something I'm kind of coming to terms with. I've always said, like, on this channel, I would prefer, honestly, not to have a channel. I'll prefer to speak maybe at events, or just be able to speak to guys, show them videos, show them stuff in a more private setting. Yeah, and actually find the right guys. But with my lifestyle, I just don't even know how that would be possible right now. So a channel is the best way to do it. But it's, yeah, to actually drive the views. And this is why there are so many fakes. This is why you have these channels who talk about, like, show her your magnetic aura, and they get like 50K views. I watch it and I'm like, this is pure bullshit. There's loads of illustrations, loads of pictures, there's loads of words, there's loads of ideas, but there's not one concrete there's not one infield piece of action, and there's not one concrete bit of advice where you could go, okay, this guy said do this, like, let me try these 3 things that the guy suggested. Let me try working my stops, for example. Let me try really focusing on eye contact. Let me work on my vocal tonality. Yeah, there's nothing in these videos you could go away and work with. So they're kind of unfalsifiable, right? I think people watch it and it makes them feel good, but then I don't want to make guys feel good if you're not achieving stuff. Feel good when you just finish having sex with your girl, or when you've just, you're giving birth to your wife's giving birth to your new son. Then you can look back and go, you know what? Yeah, I'm glad I tried this advice from Joseph. It actually fucking works, yeah? So, yeah, there's a lot of channels like that. They drive a lot of retention, and so the algorithms are pushing. They just autopilot. It's neither good nor bad. They're just on autopilot pushing these things, and so guys are getting incorrect or useless information that's well packaged, and that flies around the internet. Then there's also controversy, and there's the friction, right? There's the more extreme content between men and women, creating more hatred. You get the worst examples of women, the worst examples of men. Oh, fuck bitches, fuck men, blah, blah, blah. All of that flies around the internet, and it gets a lot of engagement. And then people like come along who've got actually good advice, who've actually got infields, they can even show you what to do. And some of them are just not getting much engagement. I'm definitely one of those people. I'm getting some engagement, but I'm realizing to actually get that good level of engagement, I'm gonna have to just become like much more of a whiz on YouTube. To be honest, I don't know, this is one of the things with this, I don't know if that will actually realistically happen either. I don't know if that's actually realistically gonna happen, because the level I would have to get to as a YouTuber, I just do other stuff in my life. Like, I'm not gonna put in 60 hours a week as a YouTuber, I'm not gonna do it, so it may always stay like a little niche little club that the few guys are going to come across. It's interesting, like people who come across the content, it's often the travel stuff that people are also quite interested in as well. That's just a bit of a discussion on the direction of the channel, why there are so many fakes and frauds. If you can't see a person's infields, I'm sorry, I'm doing this on a Samsung phone here. Most of I've got 3 phones, and this is my worst phone that I do this on, because this is the one I take out with me. I'm willing to lose it or get robbed on my travels. My actually decent phones, they just stay in my apartment. And if I can get infields, traveling around and so on, anyone really can be getting infields. Any coach worthy of the name should have infields, and I would prefer date infields as well. Not just like on my channel, you can see me on at least one date, maybe more. No, you can see me on a couple of dates. You can see me on a beach date in the Dominican Republic, which you can see I'm on a date with that girl. And then you can see me on another date after Carnival. That's in my opinion, that is one of the best date breakdowns that I've actually seen on the internet. It's my content. I'll be humble. I'm not going to be too humble about it. I've not seen another infield where a guy has met a girl with the Meta glasses on, and then the next infield after that is the entire first date, or not all of it, but like the majority of it, and it's all with the Meta glasses, from the girl arriving to us going out, to going to the club, to going to the next club. It's a great memory for me, but that is honestly it's such a useful resource. If I could just get more people to look at that, because a lot of stuff I'm doing to the girl as well, you'll notice some stuff I do, like sometimes I'll just reach over and smack her ass, or I'll put my hand on the back of her neck, stuff like that. Women fucking love this stuff, especially like the more racy women, like your Slavic women, your Dominican women, they love Ruskies, they love that type of shit. So it doesn't have to be your first. That was my first date with that girl, but we had such chemistry. It was kind of just off the charts. But it's a great example of a date. And yeah, I think it's got like 300 views or something, which is a bit of a shame. I have to maybe repackage it. But from a purely educational standpoint, that would be the type of thing I'd show my son. Right, son, there's a date. It's what your dad did 15, 20 years ago. That's how you date. Daddy, that's not mummy. I know it's not. Don't show her, but that's what you do, yeah? I show that to my own son. I show that to my nephews. Great educational resource. So yeah, not just showing infields of actual approaching and getting numbers, also showing dates as well. I'm doing it. 1 or 2 of my friends are also doing it as well for their markets as well. And this is, everyone on my channel are people who actually I respect, I've seen in the fields, and I actually respect these guys as well. Many things, we share many qualities as well. I won't associate with anyone fake, and there's just so many fakes. It's so many fakes, it's fucking ridiculous. And yeah, as I said, I've even realized even infields a little bit can be faked. People are using actors. You could fake it with the editing, that's another one. You could do 50 approaches and one of them goes well. Which is why I show some of mine that don't always go so well, like the mother-daughter infield. I went in for that, like, you know, fairly good approach, but ended up as a no thank you. I think a couple more in that infield didn't go well. I'll probably show another infield which was in a market which was fairly disastrous. Yeah, that's real life. That's real life. Yeah, maybe it doesn't look so. It's make me look like so legendary, but that's real life. Yeah, and what you need if you're going to succeed is you need to know. Oh right, Joseph has these highlights, and these are like a lot of good closes. And to be honest, for me, that's fairly routine. Yeah, they're not even highlights, to be honest. But then there's also bad days as well. There's also days where he doesn't get closes. There's also days where he only got a fucking Instagram close. Yeah. So it's all part of the process, and you need to see the reality. And unfortunately, there's just so many fucking fakes out there. This guru space is just full of absolute frauds. One thing about my channel, I cannot be accused of fraudulence. I would rather close down the channel. I swear to God. I've got other things to do. I'd rather close down the channel than make a channel that was fake. I would just never do that. I can't imagine. I would just hate to do that. I'd hate myself. The money that I earned from that, I would just, oh God, I would just want to burn it. Who would want to earn money in that way? So yeah, the purpose is to help people with real content. And so yeah, watch out for those fakes. You probably know, you've probably seen them. You probably know what they are. So yeah, boys, we'll leave things there for today. An unusual theme today, the theme of dogs. The theme of dogs and the domestication of man. This is not to hate on guys who've got dogs, the guys who like to go out into the mountains and run around with their dogs. That's all fine. You have to see what I'm seeing here in Laureles. I'm talking these little rat dogs being marched around by their tattooed feminist girlfriend. This is not even an exaggeration. And it's everywhere, dude. Everywhere. I can't even believe what I'm seeing in Laureles. It's the most cocked men. I've never seen anything like it. Europe is positively, like what's the most cocked part of Europe, like Belgium or something? They're like basically fucking alphas compared to these guys, man. It's not even about, because like what's alpha, beta? It's about having energy, yeah, having direction, drive. They don't have anything, dude. It's just zombied. And if the men don't drive things, the women will take over. The women they've taken over here already. It is interesting, like this is also why, it is definitely why Islamic populations will have an increased influence. Not that I'm so keen on that ideology, but they at least understand the need for male authority in that religion. The way they do it is not the way I would want to do it, but at least they understand that, yeah, bring back Rome, man. We need to get a big fucking Roman eagle painted on that building there. The new Rome. That's peak Europe for me. So boys, we'll leave things there. Hopefully that's been an interesting one. I like to discuss the cultural stuff as well as the just the day-to-day practical stuff. I do think it's what makes my channel quite unique, is that I'm talking about this theory, I'm talking about the big picture, society, history. It's interesting, especially for intelligent guys, but I'm also showing you infields as well. I'm not just a talker, I'm in the thick of the action. Yeah. So, that I think that's a really nice combination for guys to come in and learn from. I understand the wider picture, but I'm able to actually show you guys a route. Here's the keys. I can see the chains. Let's start to unlock those chains a little bit, and let's start to get you out into the fields, actually getting yourself doing stuff. Yeah, we'll leave things there for today, boys. I'm gonna hit the track tonight. Monday is track night. This is how I'm keeping myself nice and lean and ripped at 40 years old. Yeah, I'll finish on this. For guys who are looking for, you're looking for sexual stamina, cardio is just the best, man. Cardio is the best. Weights are all right. cardio is the best, man. You want sexual stamina, just get yourself running once, twice a week. You'll be an absolute animal. So leave things there, boys. Take it easy, and I will catch you in the next one. Watch out for the shorts, watch out for the infields. Plenty more videos coming through this week. And yeah, we'll just keep enjoying the rest of the summer.